Welcome to the Alien Probe Podcast. It is Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. I got to actually look at the calendar. I've got Deb here joining me
Hi.
in the final installment of the Journey to Planet Serpo. Kind
One,
of part of 10, but actually it's 11.
one more time. Tell them what you did.
I don't want to tell
Tell them.
them. Okay, I coughed. I don't like hearing people coughing on podcasts, so I have an override
Don't
button.
touch the button.
About three-quarters of the way through the episode. That's why, if anybody's curious, I don't know if anybody cares, but there was no. This episode was supposed to be for last week, so I posted it, and as I looked at it, I noticed about three-quarters of the way through, right when I hit the dump button, it I didn't turn it back on. So there was no sound for about a third of the podcast.
So if anybody actually made it that far through, they'd find out.
Nobody complained, so I'm thinking, you
Nobody
probably
knows.
didn't. You probably didn't care.
Nobody knows.
I put it on the MUFON website and everything, and I guess the Serpo thing. At least it happened this time, not when I had. It's easy to get you back in here.
Is
It's not
it?
as easy.
Keep trying.
What book are we going to talk about next?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to find another one so we can do the same
We
thing.
could do one of my books, but
Yeah, we could do that.
just
You
some,
got to go.
some
Oh,
novel.
I know. I've read some of the ones you've been reading. You
Some-
shouldn't leave those laying around.
some random novel.
You
we'll
said
just
there,
read it.
there was some, pretty
There's
pretty sketchy parts in there, and
Oh, sure.
that I read. And you're like, oh no, that hardly ever happens. And I looked at about a week later. I looked at it, and it's like, it's still sketchy.
Uh-huh.
Still, don't try to deny it.
Okay.
All right, so part 10. They're going to return. Make sure we're actually recording.
I swear to God, I will not do this again.
Matt will come and
It'll
do
be
it.
you and the dog.
And then Matt will come and help me.
Put
Okay.
Put the dog in this chair.
I've got Matt on in a few weeks for doing one of the board of directors for MUFON in a few weeks. She's coming on. So I'll just bring Matt in for an hour early.
Yeah, he'll love that.
Dude, we got to do part 10.
I'm not doing it again.
All right, so it's the return. Tell me about it.
Okay, once again, the team remained on Serpo for 13 years. They paid a 3-year penalty for their inability to keep track of Earth time. After all of their time devices failed, they tried desperately to translate one revolution of Serpo to one revolution of Earth, but were not able to keep up a counting discipline.
You know how I don't like the fact that they lost track of time.
I know it's a very hard thing to believe because
Yeah, well, if I know, it's not like I want to get the heck out of here, but it's more like I want to get the heck out of here.
Well, I would
I'm
think-
putting a 10-year Serpo term.
I mean, it's not like there was some reason that they had to do exactly 10 years. So, if you leave a little early, it'll be okay. You've learned.
Yeah.
You've learned the ways of the Serpo. Are you being short with me?
Yeah. I'm a little too tall for the picture. It's like our height differences are a little different. We usually have a pillow under you, don't we?
Yeah, I don't want my pillow.
They knew that a Serpo day was 43 Earth hours, so to compute Earth months from Serpo months, they would need, and we're going to do some math here. Multiply 43 times 30.2 and divide by 24. Is everybody taking notes on that? That means, I'll give you the answer. That means that 54.11 Earth days passed for each Serpo month. So all they had to do is keep track of Serpo months of 30.2 Serpo days each, and then multiply by 54.11 to calculate the Earth time passage days. So
But
again,
they spent a lot of this time, nauseous, not fed well. You don't do math well.
not eating. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they-
food wasn't that good.
They probably had some issues, and I don't know. I would have put somehow marked the cave walls, some
Like,
kind of
or the
prison.
prison walls for that, score it.
Yeah. Each time I saw a sun, and then figure it out later.
Well, they had two suns. I don't know if the sun's never really set. I think they were always just kind of, it did rotate, but it's almost like the sun was with it. They said it was never really dark.
That's hell. But
Oh,
somehow their record
do
keeping
that.
broke down. They couldn't reset their results properly. It's easy to understand, it's not easy, to understand how this could have happened despite their best intentioned plans to maintain military discipline. Marking Serpo days by the movements of the two suns may have been more difficult than it seems. And then, of course, How does one accurately measure 20% of a day?
Well, you just do what you just said. I mean, they're scientists. I mean, you
Some
know
of
what I
them
mean?
were.
Well, some were, and some were security people, and some were pilots, and that kind of thing. The team returned to Earth on August 18th, 1978. Only 7 team members returned. 3 had died, 1 in the alien spaceship en route to Serpo, and 2 on the planet. 2 decided to remain on Serpo and to live out their lives there. And just so everybody knows, this is the 10th installment as a reminder. The other 9, and I'd like to just kind of take a second before we proceed that I'd like to thank the people that, because there were several weeks in between Serpo episodes sometimes, and there were actually people that asked, when are you going to do the next one? We're laughing, but thank you. Thanks for following along.
Anonymous responded to a question about why 2 team members decided to stay. He says, why some team members remained, the debriefing reported that the team members who remained did so voluntarily, as opposed to being, oops, who was in charge of loading him? They fell in love with the culture of the Ebens and the planet. They were not ordered to return.
Yeah, well,
you can't really order. What are you going to do? Go get them?
Yeah, and it's interesting because, as like I said, the other 9 episodes we explained some of their experiences on the planet, and they don't describe anything about the they never said anything. There's a lot more. This is obviously the Secret Journey to the Planet Serpo. We're parodying the book, so but they never talk about what it smelled like. You know what I mean? What the smells were. Any detail. And I thought, although they described, because they did survey a lot of the rest of the planet and describe some of the flora and fauna in previous episodes. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting. They didn't go into that great a detail. We're not trying to figure out. We don't know if this is science fiction. Again, it's explained in greater detail in the previous episodes as to, science fiction versus, I don't want to say fact, but, Communication with the remaining crew members, the 2 who stayed on Serpo, lasted until about 1988. No other communication was received from those team members.
The 2 who died on the planet Serpo, number 899 and 754, were placed in coffins and buried. And then their bodies were returned to Earth.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they were returned to Earth and then buried?
Yeah, they probably exhumed maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Or whatever they do with their bodies on the planet. I don't remember them. They do have a ceremony for death. Right. They talked about that in the prior episodes. But the other thing I'd like to mention is they just talked about communication. I'm thinking, as you communicated, didn't you not communicate back and forth with Earth somehow?
Right.
With the, with the planet?
Yeah, did not somebody ring the bell of, you should have been home 2 years ago, you should have been home 3 years ago.
Are you coming home?
Yeah.
You're late for dinner. Don't you want a McDonald's hamburger? The 2 died on the, that was regarding the debriefing, Anonymous has this to say. And Anonymous is the one that's conveying the story. And that's how this came about, is that he's one of the ones that, he wasn't at the planet, but he was again, a third party that talked about who, the story from someone who was there or that had access to the diary. The returnees were isolated from 1978 until 1984. The fun never stops. Stops happening. So you're interned from 78 to 84 at various military installations. The Air Force Office of Special Investigations was responsible for the security and safety, and the FOSI also conducted rebriefing sessions with the returnees.
I'm sure they did.
For
years.
6 years. So you spent 13 years and 6. It's like your life's over.
I think they, when you sign up for something like that, they're never going to let you out into civilian population. Because for one thing, you're probably one of those people on the street. People think you're that guy on the street corner. I saw aliens. Yeah.
I went to another planet.
I went to another planet. Yeah, you're probably still there.
Well, it's funny, in the beginning they had 2 alternates, and one of the, they had the 10 people or the 12 people, and then one of the people decided, I'm not doing this.
Right.
He was halfway through the training or whatever. He says, I'm not in.
Yeah, well,
And that would have been me.
and you're,
but
you're also,
I'm not going.
but you're also not out.
Yeah, I know. They kept you. Yes,
Yeah,
you're
once-
exactly right. They kept you interned into prison.
Yeah.
You were treated well, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
but you can't go out and talk about anything.
Yeah, you're not free ever again. A comment sent into the website by someone who calls himself Anonymous 2 adds the following. We did have a special unit that handled their debriefing, but USAF Positive Intelligence was also involved. I was never involved in that program, but I knew other agents who were. Sure you did.
Yeah, there is common agreement that the returning team was debriefed for a solid year. And the information they gave is contained in a 3,000-page document. You thought that one book you bought was long,
Yeah,
big.
no.
Anonymous claims to have access to that document and have garnered all the information that was submitted to Victor Martinez, the email moderator from the book. Victor Martinez was the one. There was a serpo.org, which I can't get access to right now. I don't know, it's down or something. I think there's an alternative website, but there's a security thing on it. I'm a little, I'm like, I don't know if I want to click on that. Well, it's not that I'm afraid, it might be some weird,
Yep. Rick Doty commented on that.
My hero, Rick Doty.
In an article he wrote for UFO Magazine in 2006. Doty says, we must remember that Mr. Anonymous will hardly have the 3,000-page report in his living room just sitting there like a Sears catalog.
A coffee table book.
The report will be guarded under the tightest conceivable security, and the conditions of access are unknown by us.
Yeah, Rick Doty he's a disinformation officer. He's an experiencer. He's told stories. He's the first person, and I don't know how he is able to tell some of the stories he does, but we'll be going. I'm going to take you to a convention sometime that he's at. And we're going to question.
Are we going to dress up?
Yeah. You want a shirt like mine? Everybody like this shirt?
Yeah, everybody loves your shirt. We found his shirt twin in an antique store.
I was wearing this exact shirt. We went antiquing in Sutter Creek. And I turned around and I'm like, oh no.
There's another one.
It was kind of surreal, actually, wasn't it? I mean,
it's a shirt.
Yeah, but this shirt. I mean, what are the odds?
It's on Facebook.
I know, but
it's for sale.
You're saying that nobody would want to wear that.
Well, I do agree with that.
In public. I didn't wear it.
Shocking.
Maybe I'll wear it tonight. We got a MUFON. Yeah, we're gonna be looking for UFOs up in anybody that hears this, because I'll post it before. We're up at Coloma, so everybody meet up at Coloma at the park up there, and we're going to be star watching.
Wear your alien shirts.
I got my night vision goggles. Debbie doesn't want to go.
I'm so proud.
Debbie doesn't want to go.
Oh, Debbie's not going.
We can There's Max. We can hypothesize that Mr. Anonymous may not even have access to this. Do we need to dump? Do we press the dump button?
No, don't touch that button. She's gone now.
May not even. Who was it?
It's the girl with the elderly dog.
Access to. Okay. We can hypothesize that Mr. Anonymous may not even have access to the documents at all, and may be relying on memory, someone else's memory, or someone else supplying him with the information, maybe by phone or by tape, under conditions over which he himself has no control. This might explain some of the inconsistencies.
However, Anonymous is highly qualified as a historian. When did Anonymous post that? As a historian on ET contact affairs. See the introduction for a detailed discussion about his involvement with the Red Book, a complete history of government extraterrestrial contact.
That's kind of a plug there. I don't know if we need to even read that, but that's okay.
The Red Book.
The Red Book. I thought, the Red Book was something else.
Ooh, nice belch.
According to Anonymous, the last survivor of the entire team, including the alternates who remain on Earth died in 2002 in Florida.
That's
See,
right.
now that's a person that knows how to retire.
Everybody goes to Florida to die.
That's what they call. What did my son called it? He had a name for Florida. It's something about it's a place you go to. I don't know. It's God's. I wish I could think
God's
of it.
funeral home. Or
God's something. You know about the old
home.
God. Yeah, where you go to check out.
In August 2006, Bill Ryan, the webmaster, received the following message from an anonymous source in U.S. intelligence. Yeah, he's really in it. And he posted it on the website on August 30th, 2006.
Every single bit of information from the postings regarding the crew logs is absolutely correct. Well, it must be. I verified. What's that?
Of course it is.
I verified that the logs are real and were transcribed from official tape recordings made by the crew.
There are 5,419 cassette tapes that contain voice recordings. I've heard one of them, but saw all of them in a secure environment. Making sure that red button's
I make sure
on.
the button's not blinking.
I know those logs are genuine. I was given the opportunity to see them and listen to one in its entirety, which was made by the team commander himself. What?
How could someone fake 5,419 90-minute tapes? Do the math. It would have taken 338 days to fabricate the tapes.
No, you just have a pile of blank freaking tapes and nobody's going to know.
Do they know that there's stuff on that tape of government cassette tape? That type of government cassette tape is no longer sold today. I didn't know they had their own type of tape.
I don't know that they do, but
they were a military issue then. It's just OD green. It's just, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's one of those, what do they call it?
Put it down.
The cassettes. There were no cassette tapes available to the public until 1968. I didn't know that. I didn't even know they had.
I wasn't old enough to buy cassettes in
That's
1968.
surprising. You had vinyl.
Yes.
The crew took 60 boxes each containing 190-minute cassette tapes, which is 6,000 tapes.
So they just packed 6,000 cassette tapes into their little hovercraft and off they went. These tapes were recorded during the mission to Serpo over the course of their years away from Earth. Each crew member had a recording device and recorded their observations. Didn't they have issues with other things running out of power? Once they returned, the tapes were transcribed over a period of 7 years. Didn't they have did their recording devices just live? What are you doing?
Yeah, how did the power to the recording devices live?
Yeah, there's a dog bothering me.
Look at the critics trying to destroy this fantastic true story.
Oh, is that
Deb.
me?
Critic.
Is that me?
If I were the keeper of you actually said, I don't know, were the keeper of this information, I wouldn't release it to anyone except the general public through the news media. Yeah, the news media these days.
Yeah, I don't think
they're
that's how
not
you
even
wanna
gonna.
go.
We have disclosure hearings and they don't even publicize it. Don't make me go there.
That's not good.
There are some true believers in the UFO community who wouldn't believe the story if God himself told it.
That's right. The photographs. The story of the release of the photographs taken on Serpo is torturous. Victor Martinez did everything in his power to obtain and publish the best 100 of the over 3,000 photos brought back to Earth by the team. But despite the tireless and heroic efforts of both himself, Bill Ryan, and Anonymous, they were blocked at every turn. Ultimately, they had to concede defeat.
Anonymous did eventually send Martinez a computer disk containing 6 photo images. So we're down to 6 pictures.
I know,
now.
we've had thousands.
Thousands, and we're down to 6. And I've seen the double, well, they'll talk about it in a minute, containing 6 photo images. But, as will be seen, 5 of those were compromised. And in the end, only 1 questionable photo survived. I'm on this trip, and I get back, and I find out, I don't know if this is after they're dead, but I find out that I spent 13 years with thousands of photos and 3,000 pages of documentation, and nobody gets to look at it.
Nobody gets to see all it. We once had a vacation, all the photos from a vacation returned from Photomat that were just useless and you couldn't see anything. My mother was really upset, so I can understand how they
Do you
would
remember
feel.
the vacation?
Yeah, we went to Disneyland. It's the only time my parents ever took me to Disneyland. And my mom took, the Instamatic camera, hundreds of pictures, with all her little rolls of film. And then we came back and she dropped them off at Photomat. And we
None
got
of
them
them
back.
came
There was
out?
nothing. I don't know. She probably did something wrong, but she blamed Photomat.
But do you remember the trip? You remember the rides you went on and things?
Vaguely. Yeah, it's
You
a
don't
long
need any
time ago.
photographs. You were there.
I was there, but she was very excited about the light parade. Remember the light parade at Disneyland?
Oh, yeah. Very cool. I
Yeah.
took you to Disneyland. I took you to Disney World.
Yes, you
I
took
mean,
me to both, but you never showed me. We didn't see the light parade
Oh,
because we don't stay up past 9 o'clock.
oh yeah. There's that. I don't want to leave with the rest. It's not the fact that it's late. It's the fact that I don't want to leave with the crowd.
We escaped while we could.
Uber was bad enough when we left earlier. All right.
Okay, so you're back up there with your.
You're here.
Oh, I didn't know you did. Only one questionable photo survived.
Yep.
The forces preventing the publication of the photos were just too powerful. Following is a shortened timeline of events surrounding the release of the 6 photos sent by Anonymous, consisting of extracts of direct quotes from Release 22 written by Victor Martinez.
We get to hear from Victor. It is reproduced here to give the reader a taste of the complexities surrounding obtaining and reproducing the photos, and to counter the inevitable objections to the Serpo story based on failure to release these photos. I tell this story to even to people in our community, our UFO community, and they don't believe it.
Late Saturday afternoon, December 9th, 2006. I go to my post office box and there's a CD waiting for me in a nondescript package. Ooh, that plain brown wrapper. I knew
Anthrax.
Instantly what it was, and I went directly to Kinko's to view it. Since I don't even know how to insert a disc into a computer, I immediately, quote, hire one of the employees to open it for me and execute any and all functions I want or need. I offer him $20 an hour above his hourly wage.
That's not even, that's kind of today's.
Well, this was in
wage.
2006.
Each image file was 13,946 megabytes in size and could never have been received by me at Web TV, which has an incoming capacity of 10 megabytes total. I had him make 2 sets of color prints for me and then quickly left. I informed him and other curious employees that what he and they had viewed were pictures from a future sci-fi movie produced by SKG, Spielberg, Katzenberg, Geffen in Hollywood.
Yes, because Spielberg often uses Kinko's.
Yeah, and it's like, who's Katzenberg and Geffen? Is that, about?
Yeah, those are other producers.
Oh.
On Monday, December 11th, 2006, I overnight the disc to a retired signals intelligence data photo digital analyst for the National Security Agency, retired in Linthicum, Maryland. This Serpo photo release has been in the works since September of 2006. I only have, quote, the sunset photo on hand to share with Bill Ryan and Carrie Cassidy at the time. So you have one photo.
Did I show you that photo?
I
have
think
that.
you have.
Bill well, it's not, and that's the last one. It just looks like Montana. It's not like we have any E-bins in it or a spacecraft, or it's just the sunset. So it's kind of,
Yeah, you think they would have done like a group photo where everybody lines up down in front, tall people in the back, okay?
Tall
Everybody
E-bins
smile.
in the back.
And there's always going to be that one guy that was looking this way.
Yeah, or his, their eyes blink.
Yeah, there's always somebody that's...
Their eyes are shut during the picture.
In a group photo, nobody ever looks good.
Bill provides me something called the FTP for the Serpo.org website, so I inform him that I'll have my NSA, because a lot of alphabet things here, and my NSA contact friend download the images directly into his website.
On Thursday, December 14th, my NSA contact friend phones me around 6 p.m. to, regrettably, inform me of a huge slew of problems with what anonymous gatekeeper has sent me. I'm floored, extremely disappointed and dejected by what he has to say. 4 hours later, we're finally off the phone.
It did take 4 hours to tell him that I don't know what the problems might be. And he doesn't explain that. So then on Friday, December 15, I mail a duplicate copy of the CD with the original uncompressed images, this time to Bill at 10:24 a.m. I have no copies for myself. Oh, that's a mistake. Friday, December. You know what I'd be like? I'm never giving everything away.
But when he says I mail a duplicate copy,
Where's the other
where
copy?
what did he do with the original song? I think he's confused.
Okay, so Friday, December 15th at 8 p.m., all of the images compressed have been successfully downloaded into Bill's Serpo.org website by my NSA friend. I wish I'd figured it out then. I would at least been able to look at them.
And on Sunday, December 17th, right after Sunday brunch, when I'm all full of mimosas, Bill shocks me.
You're about ready to have some barking. There you go. Look, I called it.
Look at you. Is it her coming? Oh, no.
Some people might think that we should close the door so the dog will bark.
Oh, but he loves barking at all his little friends. He barks at them every day. Bill shocks me with a cell-to-cell call placed at 1:30 p.m. informing me that his Serpo.org website has been successfully hacked into and that 2 of the photos have been posted on a debunking website. You can copy stuff off of a website without hacking into it. They're outed as fakes, something Bill, my NSA contact, and myself already had concluded, and we were not going to present them as being authentic, genuine ever.
So I don't understand that
I don't
statement.
either.
Why would you not present them as being authentic or genuine?
Yeah. Bill,
so that's interesting. Fakes, outed as fakes, something Bill and I had concluded that we're not going to present them as being authentic. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We were, in a weird sort of way, I don't think you should put we in there. I think they were not going to be.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of way, the criminal act actually assisted us. It's important to note that the images obtained by the computer criminal, probably from the UK, because that's where the evil people are.
All the criminals.
The UK. Probably from the UK. I don't know what. Why would the UK be a problem? Were not the original ones that were received by me from the gatekeeper. They were compressed JPG files, and we knew instantly that the source for these photos was Bill's website because of another built-in security feature. And what might that be, Deb?
It's interesting that
Deb's going to try to figure it out.
I mean, you don't have to hack a website to see the stuff that's on it.
Did they take it, though? Did they go on and
But you just copy it. I mean, stuff on a website is so easy to screen print, grab, whatever. Now, the images on the original CD mailed to me have completely different file names. You can also change a file name. The one downloaded from Bill's website were renumbered by my NSA contact to coincide with the stream sequence. That's how we know they were illegally obtained via Bill's website.
What about Bill's website? Was that the Serpo website? We finalized the plans on the time of the stream, and Bill advises me that after having viewed the images for himself, remember he hadn't viewed them yet at lunch on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
He chooses to reverse his position and withhold from public view and mask from public view all 5 of the images pending a further clarification from Anonymous.
Note, only the sunset, it's very hard to have plural suns, is being made available at this time as 94 of 100. I tell him that I fully support his decision, whatever he chooses to do at this point. I trust, support, and reaffirm his sound judgment. You're a nice guy.
How would you like to have to say that every day, though? At sunset.
Sunset.
Subject, report by retired signal intelligence analyst, National Security Agency, Fort Meade, Maryland. Photo analyst report on 6 Serpo photos on 17 December 2006. I'm trying to think of where I was in 2006. Regarding conversion of 6 images to JPG format, executive summary, 6 images in digital format were provided for reprocessing. I'm not sure what they're trying to say here. Just a report by a signals intelligence agent.
But the conclusion by the task analyst is these 6 images require more investigation, analysis, and verification, and lack credibility in many technical respects. They're far below the NASA JPL 1960 standards in terms of quality. They had much better cameras.
Well, did they send them with them? Or did they send them
I think
with an Instamatic?
I think what they sent them with were those disposable cameras that like you get it on the table at a wedding and everybody just, everybody take pictures.
Take your own, well, you save on photographer doing that.
Yeah, and then you get the, behind the scenes stuff. And that's what they had all over their camp on Serpo.
Well, and also there's a kind of high radiation. That's why everybody kind of died of cancer. And I think that may have an effect on the film. Maybe.
Probably, especially that old film.
But I mean, they said they had the pictures, and all of a sudden they vaporized except for 6. It's kind of weird. Well, it's not weird based on everything that happens with this kind of thing. This mixture of 6 images taken as a group is inadequately explained. There is low confidence that these 6 images are related to a real Serpo disclosure. Details of image processing. The initial 6 images were supplied in BMP format under the file names Serpo Images 001 BMT and 06.
The files as received were not encrypted. The original image file names were changed during creation of the JPEG files to fit an expanded numbering plan for internal reference purposes, in case several sets of images with the same names were received over time.
Yeah, the markings indicated that the original images from this set were in Volume 12, Section 24.
Of course.
Bowling Air Force Base Project Serpo case files. All images, including any excess white area, were 1700 by 2800 pixels and approximately 14.3 megabytes each in size.
That's a big photo.
Is that a big photo?
Yeah. For display and retrieval purposes on the internet, the images were resampled to a width of 800 pixels with proportional height ranging from 427 to 935 pixels. A 2% reduction of red was applied to color compensate for conversion to non-progressive JPEG format at 15% compression.
This is a great deal of explanation for, I don't know if, they're telling the story and, how it ends up. So maybe that has some meaning. To me, it doesn't.
No, it just means they were resized to be more internet friendly.
They could have said that. Except for cropping to eliminate excessive white space, the pictures were everybody's falling out at this point. We're deliberately not improved using...
They're hoping you hit that dump button one more time.
Dump the video too while you're at it. Not improved using software filters and standard techniques. The original source image for number 97 was upside down. It had to be rotated 180 degrees.
See,
you had to turn it over.
The original 6 BMP images have not been subjected to detailed stenographic analysis. There is evidence of, we go to this again, moi patterns in these images, particularly number 94A and B. Yeah, I would have said so too. Typically, this is an artifact of scanning a color halftone picture. These patterns or interference lines are much more pronounced in the original BMP files than in the smaller JPEG versions.
Since moi patterns are... Do we know what that means? Moi.
Moi.
M-O-I-R-E with what's that over the E?
Thingy.
Okay. In direct scanning of the 35 millimeter photographic film or continuous tone prints to digital form. So they had 35 millimeter cameras.
Yeah, of course they did.
In contrast, the moi patterns and telltale regular black borders around images 98, 99. I wish I could have the images so they could see what they're talking about.
You're not allowed to see those images.
I don't care about the border. I just want to see the pictures. Are consistent with pictures roughly cut out and scanned from books, magazines, and other printed sources, as per a retired NSA analyst. Why would he say anything else?
In release 32 by Anonymous, he gives the past and future dates of EBIN visits to Earth. This confirms the 1978 return of the team 13 years and 1 month from the date of the departure.
The first were 6 return visits, and there's a great deal of visitor details. Just we're not going to give you they were in August of 78, April of 83, April of 91, October of 96, November of 99, November of 2001, and Thursday, November 12th, 2009. at the U.S. unincorporated territory of Johnston Atoll and the Akau Island. The landing at Johnston Atoll.
Yeah, there's a lot about the Jackson Atoll here.
Yeah, in 2009, a visit was made to Ebens by a remote location on Earth. So they give a, we don't need to go over the hour, what time it was.
Yeah,
you can go with them.
They landed on a flat portion.
You can start from
of the next northwest sector of the island.
Yeah.
With 18 officials from around the world met with the Ebens, and they included people from
our planet.
Our planet.
Yeah, and one was from the Vatican, 2 were from the United Nations, 9 were from the United States of America, broken down by 1 from the White House, from the Obama administration, 2 from U.S. intelligence. Did you see that picture on the internet with
Obama
Michelle
and the alien?
No, I've seen that. But Michelle Obama with a photo, and she's pregnant, and she's got her hand, and she's got 6 fingers on it. We know it's Photoshop, but it's kind of funny. It was kind of funny. I was gonna repost it on the Facebook page, and I go, it's just too much. One, continuing by who we got who the U.S. got to see. 1 linguist, 5 U.S. military representatives, and then from other countries, 1 from the People's Republic of China. Well, it's not supposed to invite them. 1 from the Russian Federation, 4 invited special guests. Oh, we don't know who they are.
Special guests, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get invited.
Yeah.
Okay, with
additionally, a very special set of gifts were exchanged.
Which I didn't think were that special.
The Ebens provided us with 6 gifts that would assist us in future technological developments. In return, the Vatican gave the Ebens 2 12th century religious-themed paintings. Ooh. Furthermore, a future meeting date was set for November of 2012, in addition to a previously scheduled visit on Thursday. They like Thursdays, November 11th, 2010, at the NTS.
I would have given them a Rubik's Cube.
It's just a painting? Really?
I know.
They give us technology.
I know that. Well, they're giving us, future technology, and we're giving them a painting. That's about right. Though, I mean, we've got nothing. What do we got to offer these guys?
Give them a vat of holy water.
Well, there's the theory that they just evolved differently, and they understand technology a lot. Maybe they've been around a lot longer, or whatever, or have discovered things quicker. So it's not the fact that they're any better; it's the fact that they just evolved in a different way, technologically speaking. We know now that the Ebens did return to the NTS in 2010 and in 2012. I won't give you the dates and times as planned. Victor Martinez gives the following information about the Johnston Atoll. We know that it's a 50 square mile atoll, and it's one of the most isolated atolls in the world. And you don't need to. It's in the vicinity of the Hawaiian Islands by about 750 miles. So we won't give you the latitude and longitude.
Please don't. You
can look it up on Google Earth if you want to see where it is. It's still around. I actually looked it up one time.
Did you? You want to see what it looked like?
Yeah, I was interested to see what it looked like.
Talk about Starfish Prime and Operation Fishbowl.
Yeah.
Do we need to go into all
No, we don't need to go into the, how it was made, how it was managed. It's, it's a former atomic test facility, which may be significant. And it was a site for 5 high-altitude nuclear tests during the 60s. Called Starfish Primed, and Operation, like you said, Operation Fishbowl, and classified project, the larger former classified project of Operation Dominic.
The final report: the 7 surviving Serpo team members returned in August of 1978. We know they were debriefed for a solid year following their arrival back on Earth, resulting in 3,000-page book containing all of their reports. Then in 1980, a final report was written. Would somebody have to summarize those 3,000 pages?
It's... Well, you would have to go through and edit it and that kind of thing. But where do these things end up? I mean, that's always the question of any evidence somewhere. Of anything. We don't know. It's some, Indiana Jones warehouse.
Yep. Like
the Crystal Skull episode. As previously mentioned, Carl Sagan was one of the signatories to that report. The final report is being kept in a vault at D. Oh, we know where it is.
Yes, it's right there.
The final, maybe I can do FOIA and say in the vault at DIA headquarters at Bolling Air Force Base in Washington, along with the debriefing book, all other Serpo-related documents, audio recordings, and photographs. See, I'm just not asking the right. I'm just not asking the right questions.
Vault 22A, which
I'm not asking the right questions. That's why they keep telling me.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, for purposes of assisting future historians who may be able to use the Freedom of Information Act to gain access to all this material, it's important to identify the federal document number of the report. There is some dispute about that number, of course. Gene Laskowski says it is 80HQD893-20. Paul McGovern agreed and added that it was classified top secret code word.
Yeah.
You need to know that code word, though.
Maybe I should. Yeah, I don't have the code word. It's Serpo.
Just keep guessing.
I'm just going to send him that number. Is this it? Is this it?
Sunset.
This number, Sunset. This number was confirmed by Victor Martinez, who claimed it is to be the same as the number received by Anonymous. Moreover, this is the identical number displayed in the title frame of the film from the box video discussed in Appendix 13, which you won't be able to see here because you'll have to buy the book. So there is every reason to believe that this is the actual final report number.
However, in the comments submitted to the website, the author who said most of the released information is truthful said also the final report is contained in a document entitled QW. The title was classified. The document number is pound 80-0398154.
So anybody out there who wants to do FOIA requests, use that number or the one we previously mentioned, and
good luck.
Good luck. And then in 10 seconds, they're going to reply that they don't know anything about it, like they did with me.
Nope.
It's like, oh, did you actually look for this, or are you just saying no because it's crazy?
It's a no.
While the overwhelming evidence, like I said, I did an FOIA on it, and the should have hit that dump button. We did.
Touch that button.
While the overwhelming evidence supports the previous number, this is reported simply in the interest of giving future researchers everything that was submitted. So I don't think I put that number in there when I asked for the request.
Okay, well,
maybe I'll do another one, see what they say.
Yeah. And so that closes the final chapter of this remarkable story. We know that the last survivor of the Serpo adventure died in Florida in 2002. Their lives were shortened by the intense radiation they absorbed on Serpo. They died as they lived, sheep-dipped and unknown to the world.
Well, we sincerely hope that they weren't made to suffer the final indignity of not having their real names engraved on their tombstones. We would hate to think that in death, as in life, they remained identified only by 3-digit numbers. I can't believe they would let him out in.
No, they never. We will remember some of them as Skipper, Sky King, Flash Gordon, Doc 1 and Doc 2. Those are sucky nicknames.
Yeah.
Regardless, they are now clearly engraved in history as giant figures in the inexorable march across the galaxy by the human race.
What we learned from the even science and technology essentially revolutionized our current understandings of physics and biotechnology. The fact that these understandings have not yet trickled down to earthly industries is due more to a matter of internal relations, international relations, politics, and economics than to the readiness of our universities, corporations, and medical institutions to translate this amazing knowledge into practical usage. And that's something that just continues to be a problem, for what we think is real, UFOs or extraterrestrials that we allegedly have seen, that holds true today with what we're going through. It's insane.
Our scientists were already beginning to comprehend this new paradigm of the universe in such areas as quantum physics and advanced electromagnetics, and our biologists were close to breakthroughs in DNA biotechnology.
So we could be utilizing science today and could be living in a virtually utopian conditions.
We could.
It is inspiring to know with these amazing groundbreaking innovations are waiting for us just around the corner. once we resolve our tangled earthly affairs. We don't want that to happen. The military industrial machine is never going to let us. It's a money thing.
We need conflict. Well, plus,
Yeah.
humans need conflict. We always need to be pushing up against something.
Well, let's be conflict, and exploring other planets, not just killing each other. I mean, does it have to be like...
It's so much easier.
You're such a German.
We are already flying anti-gravity craft.
Are we? Oh.
Somebody is. And are using stem cell technology to cure a host of previously intractable medical conditions. This is just the beginning. In this part of the book, I have summarized the main categories of Eben technology. I don't think we needed that part.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you German in a bad way.
Yeah. Such a Jew. You're so mean.
Oh, we're going to get slammed, but this is going to be banned. Anti-Semitic. Don't say it like it's a bad thing. While these advanced technological breakthroughs are being kept from us, there is one source of futuristic information that they cannot control. We can at least learn about what an incredible lifestyle awaits us. From science fiction films,
yes, exactly. These movies.
This is what it's come down to.
This makes me feel like I'm in a Disney film somewhere. These movies energize our award ceremony. They energize our imaginations and sustain us while we wait. They have allowed us to live in the new world in unreality until the reality arrives, especially since we now understand that they may be part of the public acclamation program and are actually true depictions of what actually exists.
Yeah, I believe Stargate, released in '94, is a good example of this.
Do you?
Yeah, Steve Spielberg's classic film, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I made you suffer through just weeks ago.
Yeah.
But, it gave movie audiences a thrilling taste of the future as it showed the 12 American military personnel boarding an alien craft and departing our planet for a distant star system. So anyone watching Close Encounters, if you want to fast forward to the end, if you've seen it a million times, and don't remember this, there were 12 military people dressed in dark sunglasses and, military attire and the ball caps, dark ball caps. And what about that? Did that come first in the story? We're going to make us... Did they revolve this whole story?
I need to get you together with Steven Spielberg so he can...
Steven and I need to talk.
Yeah. While we thought it was fiction, there was something about that scene that made us believe it could and would happen. And with the revelations about Project Serpo that emerged 28 years later, we now know it was real.
Well, that wraps it up. It wasn't 44 episodes like I promised.
Thank God.
Well, I had to cut it. I mean, it does. The book does go on. But there's just so much... It's like they tried to fill in with a lot of, and they start repeating themselves. It's repeating things that they previously mentioned just in this last chapter. So I'd again like to thank all the people who followed along with the journey and cheered our efforts. Fact or fantasy, we never we may never really know, Deb. I don't know.
No.
So we'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening to the Alien Probe podcast. We welcome comments, questions, or requests to alienprobepodcast@gmail.com. Don't tell me how boring this was. We know this last one, kind of wrapping it up.
Don't rub it in.
Yeah, don't rub it in. At least I'll know if you say that, then you heard this. Visit us on Facebook. Check out our website at alienprobe.net. Facebook is Alien Probe Podcast. Twitter and Instagram at Alien Probe Pod. Check out YouTube at Alien Probe Podcast. Like and subscribe. Thanks again, Deb.
Thank you.
It's 2 hours like a movie.
Yep, that was fun.
Watch the skies. I'm going to be doing it tonight with MUFON. Take care.